see the cloud rise from the sea. I see revival coming to you and me. I hear the sound of abundance of rain. I hear the Father calling my name. Yes, I hear the Father calling my name. I hear it. I hear the sound, the rattle of bone. I see an army before the throne. I hear the sound of a mighty rushing wind. I see the fire falling again. Oh yes, I feel the fire burning again. See the fire burning again. This is a time for the harvest of souls. This is a day for the church to be bold. This is the time, put your hand to the plow. This is a day of the Holy Ghost power. Let it rain on this mountain, run through these hills. Let it rain on the thirsty, let the hungry be filled. I hear the sound of abundance of rain. I hear the Father calling your name. I hear the Father calling my name.
I want John and Patricia, they were one of the first couple that came when we was at the Victorian Village, and they pulled up, and he said, we've been praying for this, I think, for 35 or 40 years. And God is using him in a powerful way. He's an evangelist. For those of you that are pastors, he's on fire for God, and I'm telling you, he come to your church, the fire of God will fall. I want him to testify about a miracle that happened during Murillo Crusade, and some of you haven't heard it, but I'm going to start having him testify here as we get closer. There's many notable healings and that happened when Mario was here. But give the Lord a hand of praise for his healing power. Amen.
As I've already said before, in August 2015, I was healed of many things: sugar diabetes, bad back, heart trouble, many different illnesses. But when this happened, really the real miracle is that I've carried the dream in my heart for revival for so many years. This song, that's the only song I ever wrote. God gave it to me in 5 minutes. Because I quit trying to write songs. I tried to write songs, and I wound up just throwing them in the trash. And so I just sang what was in my heart. And God put revival in my heart as a very young preacher when I was first born again. And so I carried that for many years. But when my health began to fail, well, I began to sink into a semi-depression, and I began to feel like that I knew that God had told me and showed me in His Word, and He had spoken to my heart that He was going to pour out His Spirit in the last days. Amen. And we are standing on the precipice of what I believe the greatest outpouring of the Holy Ghost the world has ever seen. When I came here Tuesday night to the prayer meeting, I parked down here in this parking lot out here, and you know, I mean, I get it. We're moved to Branson, Omaha, within 19 minutes of downtown Branson. When I was healed in August 2015 of diabetes in Mario's meeting in Branson West, instantly, Brother Tony laid hands on me at the instruction of Brother Mario, and God instantly healed me of diabetes. And that's been doctor verified. If God heals you, it will stand up to the doctor's scrutiny. And I have it all documented. It's anybody who wants to document, I got it all. And I have an A1C. Last time I checked it was 4.5 or something like that. You know, and you know that's normal A1C, but without any insulin whatsoever. But I had begun to lose the dream that I would see the big one. Until I attended Mario's revival in Branson West, and I really believed that was the big one. I thought it was going to grow until it just overtook this whole area. And of course, you all know we won't get into that. But I began to sink into depression again almost, you know, because I thought I was seeing it come, and then, you know, the devil always gets to messing when God gets to blessing. But God is not finished with Branson. I walked out, I get it. I walked out in this parking lot Tuesday night after the prayer meeting, and it was dark, and I looked down over that hill. And I saw that strip. You can see it lit up all down through there. And I got, Jesus wants to do something powerful in Branson. We're selling our place and moving over here. I mean, it don't even make any sense. I never did even really care for Branson. I'm not much of a tourist town kind of a person. But you know, when you get healed instantly of a major disease. But let me talk about that healing. You know, you told me to testify about the healing. I got so sick that I would go to Walmart. I'd ride that little motorized cart, you know. I couldn't walk to the mailbox without stopping to rest. Everybody saw me. I didn't know what was wrong. I didn't know what it was. And finally, I got so sick on January the 27th of 2015, I told my wife, you got to take me to the hospital. I don't know what's wrong, but it's bad. I was vomiting all night. Every 5 minutes I'd vomit all night long. Lost 40 pounds of weight. My hair fall out. Just all kind of things going on. And I staggered into the emergency room like a drunk man. And the nurse asked me what was wrong. I said, I really don't know. And they began to run some tests on me. Found out my blood sugar was 625. 621. I had descended into diabetic ketoacidosis, and my body was just consuming itself. And I was at the point of death. You can die from that. And they immediately put me in the emergency room, put an insulin drip on me, and kept me there for 3 days. So they finally got it down to about 250, almost 300, and sent me home on an insulin regimen of 4 shots a day, and about 40 units a day. And that went on from January the 27th until 7 months to the day. On August the 27th, on a Thursday night in Branson West, Brother Mario called me out, where he didn't actually call me out. He said, there's 4 people in this section. You have diabetes, heart trouble, a number of things. Well, I jumped to my feet when he said that, because I was in that section. And then he ministered to me by the word of knowledge. And God healed me instantly of diabetes. Hallelujah. I went home. I went home that night. You know, I'm not an idiot. I took my insulin, just like you're supposed to, you know. Got up the next morning, ate breakfast, took my insulin, and went out in the backyard and started working, and almost passed out. Bottomed out, you know, and I ran in the house and got a candy bar and a Coke. Everything I could get my hands on had sugar in it until I could get myself back up. And oh, that's a load. You know, when you go down like that, you don't just come right back up. If there's any diabetics in the house or you have loved ones. I thought, that's strange, you know. I know God heals, but I didn't realize He'd done it instantly. So I started checking my blood sugar, and every time I check it, it was normal. And, you know, the old timers, they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And so, you know, I didn't take any insulin. I'd watch it. And every mealtime, I'd take my blood sugar. It's normal. I'm eating normal meals. Check my blood sugar. It's normal. So I'm documenting all this on my computer. Made a graph there and documented it all. And this, one day turned into a week turned into a month turned into 3 months. Finally, it's 90 days down the road. I haven't had a single shot of insulin, and my blood sugar is normal. This is 3 months past August the 27th. So I had an appointment with my doctor. I walked in there. I had this all documented and graphed out there. And I walked in there, and he did some things, you know, asked me some questions. I handed him that list, and he didn't say anything. And finally, I just brought it up. I said, Doc, what do you think about those blood sugars? And he said, well, that's good. You know, that's okay. And I told him, I said I'd receive prayer for diabetes and for my pancreas. And he just kind of smirked and got on his computer and ordered an A1C. Doctors go by the numbers. They don't go by, faith. The people come in there all the time. I'm healed, and they're not. But if you are healed, it'll stand up to the doctor's examination. And so he ordered an A1C. They drew blood, and I went home. And that night, about 7 o'clock at night, I'm out in the backyard working, and my phone rang. I took it out, and I saw it was my doctor. How many of your doctor calls you at 7 o'clock at night? And I said, "Oh, Doc, yeah, what?" And he said, your labs are great. And I said, "Really?" He said, "Yeah, in fact, they're on the low. There's a 4.4 that day when he took them." He said, "Your A1C is 4.4. That's on the low end of somebody who never even had diabetes." And he said, and here's what's funny. He said, "It seems that you have cured yourself of diabetes." Well, I just started laughing then, I said, "No, Doc, that's not how this works. I told you I'd receive prayer." Now that was in 2015, August 2015. I was healed. I had an A1C where I had a random blood sugar just about 3 weeks ago, and I just got up from breakfast, had 2 eggs toast, glass of orange juice, and a chocolate piece off of a Hershey bar, and went straight down and had my blood drawn for some other things, and my blood sugar was 116 2 hours after having a normal meal. That is normal blood sugar. And that God He is the healer.